On this week's Snow Tracks Test Ride segment, we're going to have to get inside your head a bit and find out where you think and where the market thinks this snowmobile from Ski-Doo fits into their lineup. We're going to talk about the Ski-Doo Renegade XRS 900 Turbo. Why do we have to revisit the Turbo 900 Rennie's target market? Because just a year ago, this sled was Ski-Doo's flagship snow shredder. Last year, BRP built nothing more powerful than this sled right here. Now Ski-Doo has shuffled the deck on us with the all-new MXZ XRS 850 Turbo E-Tech. Yeah, it's a two-stroke turbo, and its arrival signals a new era for Ski-Doo. The new E-Tech 850 Turbo is the hottest of all the hot rods in Ski-Doo's stable. Okay, so I'm not saying that the 900 Ace four-stroke turbo isn't fast. It is. It's crazy fast. But let me tell you something. Wide open down Kevlar Lake with the boys, the yellow guy's going to be there first. So maybe a better question is this. Who will buy the new Turbo 850 water-injected two-stroke, and would they have bought the Ace 900 Turbo if the two-stroke never happened? Told you I was going to get inside your head today. In the world of hyper sleds, it all pretty much boils down to one thing and one thing only. Horsepower. That's what everybody's concerned about. And big horsepower makes top speed and wicked acceleration. And those things are all here, but I'll tell you something. This four-stroke 900 Turbo is about a lot more than just horsepower. The Renegade chassis is the home for all Rotax four-strokes in model year 2024. This makes great sense because this particular four-stroke can shred snow past 60 per. More track is more traction. Okay, keep this in mind as well about the Renegade four-stroke Turbo. This sled comes with Smart Shocks. We have knighted Smart Shocks as the best riding suspension system in the biz, hands down, running away. So that's a big bonus with this sled, to have the best ride and tons of power. The 900 Ace under hood uses a BRP proprietary exhaust gas-driven turbocharger with an intercooler mounted up front. The motor exhibits great low-end torque in models without a turbo. The net effect of the turbo here is ridiculously urgent and forceful power delivery from engagement to full shift RPM. The suspension is set up to keep the front end on the snow. However, a quick tweak of the eccentric front torque arm bolts on the R-Motion slide rails will produce heroic wheelies on takeoff and give you an advantage when you're racing your buds down Kevlar Lake. So what's the magic number? 180 horsepower. That's what the four-stroke turbo puts out. But interestingly, it's also what the yellow guy puts out down there. The wet weights of these two hot rods are interesting as well. 635 pounds for the four-stroke, 614 pounds wet for the two-stroke. So here's what we think. The Turbo 900 Rennie is the ultimate big mile cruiser with power and torque a mile wide and best in the biz suspension. This sled is made for the snowmobiler who thinks 300 miles a day is just average. Remember, this is a four-stroke, so no need to haul injector oil. Okay, so what about suspension? Well, the good news is a couple years ago, Ski-Doo upgraded the R-Motion to R-Motion X, and that's what's under this sled. That includes the eccentric adjuster bolt system on the front torque arm between the slide rails. That's a big mouthful, but here's what it means. You can adjust the way this sled will weight transfer. Whether it wheelies a lot, it'll stand up in the corners, or whether it stays flat a lot, it'll stay flat in the corners and not wheelie on takeoff. It's a really versatile setup, and it's easy to fiddle around with. It's right on the outside of the rail on both sides. Creature comforts and ergos are outstanding here. The Renegade Turbo comes with BRP's own 10-inch display, which puts the pilot in control of the suspension mode, the throttle mode, mileage, fuel economy, hand and thumb heat, fuel on board. There is also a fully integrated navigation system developed by Ski-Doo. Riding position is all-day comfortable, and the seat is flat-topped and firm. It's easy to move around on the Rennie Turbo. Of particular interest is the new bore piston drive axle brake caliper and an adjustable brake lever. You talk about overdue. The two-piston caliper is just fantastic and makes a real tangible difference that Skidoo riders are going to appreciate as soon as they try this out. The other thing, the adjustable brake lever, only seen it on one other sled in the snowmobile industry, and that was on Yamaha's Apex a number of years ago. This setup with the adjustable brake lever and the four-piston caliper changes the whole argument about braking systems. Polaris used to own the best brake in the business. There's now a challenge with the new Skidoo setup. Here's a new feature you may never come to appreciate. The drive axle is splined, allowing for quick and much easier track swapping. You can remove the track without opening the chain case. Okay, so here's an interesting deal from Skidoo. Remember when the Mach Z returned 2 years ago for a 1-year hiatus? Well, it had launch control, and so does the yellow guy, the two-stroke turbo, and now the Ace 900R in the Renegade has launch control. Okay, so here's the deal. The 900 Ace Turbo R Renegade is one of the most versatile high-performance snowmobiles you can buy in model year 2024. You can run with your buds all day down Kevlar Lake and be in the hunt every time. This sled deserves your attention and a quick look-see before you buy any turbocharged snowmobile.